you're going to threaten to fire me over something that I was never trained on. Hi guys, it's Taylor. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, welcome to my channel. You've read the title, which you probably have. Today's video is going to be a video about something that I haven't really talked about like on social media before because I've been like scared to talk about. But I think like enough time has passed that I think like it's okay to talk about it. Also, I'm like hoping they don't sue me. I won't mention names. I'll obviously use fake names. I won't say the job that I worked at, even though if you guys follow me on social media and you've like known where I've worked in the past, you'll probably figure it out. But for the sake of, you know, my own security. Alright, so I haven't done a story time video in a while. So it might kind of be all over the place. I'm not very good at these, so I don't even know like where to start. So I'll give you guys maybe like a little like time frame. So I got this job around November of 2016. So I got it when I just moved to like the city, because I needed a job while going to part-time school, so, you know, your girl needed some cash. I got hired originally as a seasonal worker, so basically they were just planning on, you know, keeping me until the end of the seasonal term, which is usually around November until February, and then they can decide to let you go or they can continue on with your contract. So I was under the impression that I was only getting hired for seasonal, which like I was fine with, you know, just making some cash over Christmas, so I had money to buy Christmas gifts, so I could pay my rent, all that fun stuff. Not really. So like that was fine, and then actually my manager, the one who hired me, ended up keeping me past my contract time, so I ended up being not just a seasonal associate, but just like a regular like part-time associate, if you will. So I want to say that it was about, I mean, a solid like 5 or 6 months where, you know, things were going good. I was chilling, you know? I really just like went to work and came home. Like I wasn't there to make friends, if you know what I'm saying. I made a few friends though from working at this place, and I'm so thankful I met them because I love them. But you know, I just didn't involve myself in like talking about their drama, because most of the girls that actually worked at this place like knew each other because they all went to like high school, or like they've known each other for like a long time, and like me being from like a whole different like place, just coming into this like city, I didn't know anyone, so like I couldn't really relate to what they were talking about, so like honestly like I didn't care. You know, maybe like fast forwarding about 3 or 4 months, so one of my like managers, so the one that hired me originally, she got transferred to another store to be manager, and so we had another manager take over, which I love her to death. She's the sweetest person ever. There was an assistant manager that was working at the time that this new manager came in, but she recently, like a couple months into this new manager coming in, had to leave because she was pregnant, and so she was going on mat leave, so I really loved her as well, so I was really sad that she left. This is when it turns to hell. So basically, when the assistant manager left, there was a new girl that comes in. I had no idea, by the way, that this girl was the new like assistant manager, because she, for one, like did not look like a manager, and for two, like she looked like she was really young, so I was like, I'm confused. So basically, the first thing that happened when I saw her, like first time ever I see her, I come into my work for a shift. I just like walk in, you know, go into the back room. She's like,
"Hey, can I help you find anything today?"
The first thing I said was, I actually work here. And then I just like walked. She was like, oh, well, like I didn't know that. And I was like, okay, well now you do, so. And basically what happened after that was she like introduced herself to me like later on in the day. And was like, I'm the new assistant manager, like blah blah blah, and I was like, okay, lit, cool. So then whatever, a few months like go by and like things are like okay, like she's not. A few months go by, as I said, and like things are chilled or whatever. And then like I start to notice that like she's like super controlling. At this place, we had to constantly be like folding something. Literally couldn't even like stand for 5 seconds greeting customers. Like it just like wasn't allowed, and I'm like, okay. This makes me so angry because like as a manager you should like know better. Basically I got like pushed into shipment somehow, and like I've never done shipment in my life. So like I had no idea what I was doing. Nobody like trained me on it. Did do shipment when I got hired, but it was basically every like whenever we got shipment in, so like it wasn't every shift, if you know what I mean. So like it was fine, it was chill. There was a different system when the new managers like took over, which was really upsetting and frustrating for me, because like I liked the way that I was doing it before. It was so easy, like there was really like no system. You just basically like took things out of the boxes and hung them and then put them out on the floor. I've never done shipment before, so like I just thought that was like really easy and like how you do it. I don't know. But then when the new managers like took over, they're like, hey, and like pulled me and this other girl that was like working on shipment with me at the time aside, and we're like, there is a new system for shipment. This is how it has to be done. There's a certain way. We'll write it down for you guys so you don't like forget. And I was like, okay, chill, like whatever. I hope it's not that hard. Bitch, you thought. So basically the way that it worked was we had boxes, and there was times on the boxes, and those times on the boxes were the times that we were supposed to finish that entire box of shipment. So say there was a box full of things. It's gonna give it away if I tell you like what's in the boxes. Say there was like 50 of blank. We would have to count the 50 of that item and write it down, put it out on the floor in that allotted amount of time that was on the box. So literally like a huge box that had probably like 60 items in it was supposed to only take us 15 minutes. They were like so secure on this. They're like, you guys can do it. Like they did it in the warehouse for this allotted time, so they think you guys can do it too. It was hard, I'm not gonna lie, but like it wasn't like as bad as it gets, if you know what I'm saying. I never actually like trained for it though. Like we were given instructions and like that was it. No one physically showed us how to properly hang anything, how to, you know, put them in the proper drawers, color coordinated. No one taught us any of that. So like, okay. Then the story is so like confusing. So a few months like pass, whatever. It like gets pretty busy in the store. Because at this point, I believe it's around close to Christmas time. So like I'm literally working like 5 days in a row, 40 hours a week for I think about like a month or 2 months or something. Just doing shipment, like strictly just shipment. And like meanwhile, I have no idea what I'm doing. This is how like a typical shift would go. So I would get to work, say like I would have a 5-hour shift. And for that day, there would be, say, like 12 hours of shipment. They would expect us in a 5-hour shift to finish 12 hours of shipment. Like, I'm not good at math, but a 5-hour shift, we were supposed to be doing 12 hours of shipment. So we were supposed to be doing more hours of shipment than we were at the store. It literally made zero sense at all. Me and the other shipment girl fed up and were like, you guys are expecting so much from us, and we literally talked to the managers in the back because, you know, we're gonna stand up for ourselves. Like, we're employees, we get to speak our mind, you know, if we don't feel something's right. We were like, I really don't think that this is accurate, this is not fair, because how can one person, even like 2 people, like it's just not possible, like do 12 hours of shipment in a 5-hour shift. Like it just really, it doesn't add up. Like, and they're like, yeah, but like it's totally possible. I was like, okay, but you do know that the warehouse is empty. They don't have customers. They don't having other tasks to do because the warehouse is empty and that's solely their job and the only thing they are doing. Right? So, sure, the box of 50 stuff, they just throw it in there. Will take them 10 minutes. But for us, you know, as not strictly just shipment people, but as employees who are doing shipment, because we were never hired as shipment people. We have no idea what we're doing, right? So we are just regular employees, so we have other tasks and duties to do during our shifts as well. Like just shipment people. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, sure, they can do a box in 10 minutes, but that is just not possible, and they were just so keen on that it was accurate and was possible that they were not listening to the people who are actually doing the shipment. I'm gonna talk about the assistant manager, okay? The one that, you know, I met at the beginning of this story. So we're gonna call her Brittany. Okay, whatever. She was always just like on my ass about little things. Like I would literally like greet a customer. We had like headsets, so she would tell me on the headset, Taylor, you need to be folding. I'm like, dude, I was literally talking to a customer. Like, okay. A few months more pass, and I'm not the only one who notices this manager Brittany's behaviors. She was just really rude. Like her comments that she would make are just very aggressive and rude, and she really just like didn't care if she made you feel bad at all. I can't even like think of one shift that I would go to where I didn't either cry at work in the back room or come home crying. Like, because of one person. Like, the things that she would say to me were just like unbelievable for a manager to be telling an employee. There was actually one incident that I had that threw me over the edge. I was folding a table and Brittany comes over and she's like,
Taylor, did you fold this table already?
and I was like, yeah, I did it. And she was like,
Really? Do you want to look at it again?
and I was like, it looks fine to me, like what's wrong with it? And she's like,
You're kidding me. You think that this looks okay?
and I was like, I don't see anything that's wrong with it, like, it's fine. And she was like,
No. It's ugly. Like, you need to fix it. Like, I can't believe you think that that looks okay.
it's like, okay, well then can you show me how you want it to be done? And she shows me and it literally did not even look any better. Like, it literally looked the exact same as how I did it. She just touched up one little thing. And I'm like, okay, like, you literally have like OCD. So then after that happened, actually, she pulls me aside and she's like,
Yeah, you're not a very good worker and you kind of like suck at folding.
she, like, I dead ass, like, would not make this up. She literally said this to my face and even said it behind my back to my other manager. And I was like so infuriated that I just like stood there and was like holding in my tears, like trying not to just. So I think it was like later that night actually. There was a girl still in the back doing shipment and she pulls me aside, and I think this is actually around like January, the end of January. And she's like,
Taylor, I have to talk to you.
And she makes the shipment girl like stay in the back, and she's like,
So, we need to talk. You put no effort into working. You really don't know what you're doing.
and just basically just like frying me. This makes me really angry to talk about. I haven't talked about this since it happened. Saying how I'm a shitty worker, and oh, this is the best part. She's like,
How do you expect us to give you any more hours if we can't trust you on the shipment being done?
did I not tell you that it's physically not possible to finish 12 hours of shipment in a 5-hour shift? There was just like so much that was expected, and me as a human, not even being trained, I physically just couldn't do it. I would work my absolute hardest. Like when I say, like, I'm a hardworking person. If you know me, like at every job that I've been at, I work really hard because I really don't see like the point in working at a job where you slack off and just like don't care. Like if you're at a job making money, like you might as well just make the most of it. So like obviously I'm gonna work hard, even if it's like the hardest thing I've ever done, and if I really don't want to be there, like I'm for the most part not gonna let that show, and I'm just going to, you know, do my best. So this entire time where I've been like doing shipment, I've been like trying my best and like being as fast as I can doing shipment and doing the boxes and, you know, all that. And she really just didn't think that I was good enough at anything. Like she literally would tell me that I was a shitty worker, how I don't care about anyone but myself, I'm selfish, I don't have the ability to actually sell to customers, how my attitude needs to change. Like, the only time I gave her attitude was when I was standing up for myself, saying that it's not physically possible to do shipment this way. And she just was not, she never would listen to her employees. Like, as a manager, you need to listen to your employees and you need to take into consideration what they're doing and say, hey, maybe they're right, let me try it out and see if, you know, it's actually working or not. Let me see if there's a way that I can solve this problem. She never did that. She would just think that she's right all the time, and, you know, that was it. Like, she was right and all the employees were wrong. I was wrong. That's what she would think, like, I was wrong. But, like, in reality, she just didn't want to think that she was wrong. But, sorry, but as a manager, you cannot treat an employee the way that you treated me. You guys don't even know, like, how much it took out of me to not yell at her in that moment. She was saying all this stuff to me, I was just speechless. Like, I was literally speechless. I just didn't know what to say. I started crying, and she had no emotion, no sympathy. She was staring just like blank at me, just watching me share my emotions and how I felt. And if you know me, I'm really not good at sharing my emotions. I will start crying if I even try to explain to you how I'm feeling. I will probably start crying. And she deadass just looked at me and just didn't even feel any pain for me, didn't feel any sympathy, nothing. She was like,
you are the reason why we are 30 hours behind on shipment.
what do you mean?
And you're getting written up.
You're going to threaten to fire me over something that I was never trained on. And I told her, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna be completely honest, I was never trained on doing shipment, so, like, yeah, I'm sorry that we were, you know, 30 hours behind on shipment, but maybe if I actually knew what I was doing and I was, you know, fully trained on doing shipment, this would have never happened. So after that talk, I went home, I cried, I literally did not want to go back to work. I was actually put on the schedule, I think, like a couple more times that month, and I texted my manager, not the one that yelled at me, not Brittany, but I texted my manager, the one that's actually nice to me. And the thing that sucked was that these two managers were actually friends, so they kind of like had to agree with each other, which I think is like insane, because like as an employee, I am telling you how another manager is treating an employee, aka me, and it's not okay. And she really just didn't do anything about it. Like, I would have fired her ass. I texted my manager and she was like, I'm so sorry that happened to you, like, and I was like, yeah, I just, like, I can't come to work anymore, I'm sorry, like, I'm giving you my 2 weeks right now, like, I just can't do this. I can't come to work because she just is making my shifts horrible, and the way that she treated me, like, I just can't see her face again. I really hope you understand. And like, I phoned her because I didn't want to go back to the store because I really didn't want to see Brittany. So I did this over the phone. And she was like, okay, like, you can just come to the shifts that I put you on for next week and you don't have to come back. So basically I quit this job before they could fire me. And I got a new job, which I'm currently still at, which I love. It's actually in the same mall. So the funny thing is that after I quit, every other associate quit. Yeah, every associate quit because of this one manager. And actually she's currently still working there, so I don't really know what's going on with that, but I occasionally see her, which makes me want to die, literally. And the thing that makes me the most mad is that she is so fake to me every time she sees me. She puts on a fake smile, and she's like, "Hey Taylor," and I honestly just like, it takes so much. Oh yeah, and I thought that I would mention something else that happened before this last incident. So this was probably when she was only like a month and a half into working here, that a customer asked me if they could try on something. For hygienic reasons, you can't, but I can give you this one. I gave them like the sample, right, okay, and then the customers were at the fitting room. Brittany literally turns around and snaps, and she's like, "You can't try that on. Who gave that to you?" And the customers were like, "That girl over there, like, she said we can try them on." And she's like, "She doesn't know anything. She's new." Bitch, I am not new. I am not new. You're new. You're literally a month and a half in. I've been working here for a year and a half. Like, don't even start that shit. Like, so, yeah, that's literally one of the worst things ever. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this story time. If you guys want more stories like this, be sure to subscribe and click the like button below. I will be posting so much more often, I promise. It's just been a little bit hectic right now, but I apologize and things will change soon. So thank you guys, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.